masters of the universe.
Moving forward 2019, this is where we are at. We are moving forward. Of course, time never goes backwards, but it does always progress into the future. So we're moving forward into a brighter future.
So our agenda for today, we're just going to start with a quick chant to ground us and remove any obstacles. We'll do a quick chant. Then Christopher's going to do a forecast for 2019, an astrological forecast, a general one. And then after that, we'll do a quick coaching exercise to get clear with what we want to move forward into 2019. And after that, we'll give you a breathing technique to use as a centering tool anytime you need to use your affirmation moving forward and to visualize your dreams coming true. You can use the breath technique, and then we'll have a meditation afterwards with a mudra to just empower each other together. And there are over 50 people who want to see this video. Are you recording, Chris, or do you want to try this recording here?
Yes, we're going to.
And we're going to record here.
Wonderful.
Good. So we'll send a recording to those who don't show up in the next hour. We're planning on being within the hour, so we'll see how long it takes. At any time, if you have any questions or queries, you can go into the chat bar at the bottom and send us a little message.
That's right.
So to begin, let's come into a comfortable seated position. You may be laying down, and that's okay. Align your spine. Collect yourself. Connect yourself. Christopher's going to put up on the screen what we're going to be chanting. And we're going to be invoking Ganesha, the elephant god, who is the Lord of removing obstacles. And we'll do a call and response to begin with. So you go with Christopher, repeat after me. Om.
Om.
Gum.
Gum.
Ganapataye.
Ganapataye.
Namaha.
Namaha.
Listen and go with Christopher. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Go.
Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha.
Again.
Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. 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 One more. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Wonderful.
Feel yourself grounded, protected, and obstacles removed. And we will, when we send you the recording, afterwards we'll include your little handout with Ganesha chant on there.
Wonderful. So we're going to begin because we're moving right into 2019. We're going to see some shifts astrologically in the sky. So roughly once a year, but not necessarily every year, we get a little window where all the planets move direct. So usually there's at least one planet spinning as it appears to a retrograde motion. But as of the 6th of January, all planets are moving forward. That is like a slingshot of positive energy. There's nothing holding us back. The limitations are lifted, and we want to focus our energies in these first 2 months. So between January 6th and March the 5th, we will have no retrograde action. So nothing will be going backwards. Nothing will be coming up for review. Things will be in go forward activation.
So we really need to apply our energy in the next couple of months because it's going to be very focused.
That's right.
And in a moving forward way. We're actually being carried in a way. Right?
So instead of thinking about reinventing yourself, we want to take the best parts of what we had in 2018 and move those right forward. We want the momentum of all the best energy of 2018 to propel us to take advantage of this direct action. This is going to really empower us. and help us to get our goals. Because when the retrogrades do start to happen, and retrogrades aren't bad, but they're cause for relooking and reevaluation. But we want to have the momentum of our forward motion going so strongly that we are able to just continue onwards with our journey, so that our revisals are more of a relooking than, oh geez, maybe I should start all over again from scratch. We don't want to do that. We've spent too much time cultivating who we are and where we're going at this point to have to start all over again. We want to take what we have, we want to move it forward. We can add on to it. We can make it more. We can make it expand and get bigger, because that is another theme of this coming year is Jupiter. Jupiter is the dominant planet for this year. Jupiter is the planet of expansion, good fortune, and good luck. We started coming in at the end of 2018, and it's going to be carrying us right through into 2019. We want to get on that wagon. We want to expand. We want to feel the good fortune of Jupiter coming our way. We want to feel that our ideas are growing, that our personal self is growing, our wealth and abundance is growing. All of these things are under Jupiter. And Jupiter is going to be in its favorite sign, its home sign of Sagittarius for much of the year, which includes going retrograde back into Sagittarius, which happens in April. Now, the nice thing about going retrograde for Jupiter is it's going retrograde into its home planet or home sign of Sagittarius. This is going to amplify the positive sides of the retrograde. So that's going to be fixing or refining things that to make them work better. It's still action oriented. Sagittarius is a fire sign. So it's about moving forward actively, taking the actions that you need to accomplish your goals. This year is less about planning what you want to do and more about putting into action whatever plans you already have. Take action, because 2020 is going to be dominated by Capricorn, and Capricorn lets us know where the limitations are. This isn't bad. We need to know where the limitations are.
Is there stubbornness involved?
There can be stubbornness involved, yes. But we want to have the positive energy of Jupiter helping us to, when we hit the boundaries, then at least we know where they are. It's not causing friction. It's just allowing us, oh, okay, so this is the end. This is our border. So how do we work within our boundary? Do we put up a wall like Donald Trump wants to do? Or do we allow our boundary to be a little bit more permeable so we can have a good exchange of things? So as we progress towards the end of 2019 and into 2020, we'll start to see Capricorn rising up. But Capricorn is a determined sign. So the nice thing about 2020, when we move from this year into 2020, is that will give us a lot of determination and a lot of positive energy in a spiritual sense to stick to our guns spiritually, to fulfill our spiritual obligations.
Where's the number? Can you send me? I need the meeting number.
And so just 1 second, we're trying to find the meeting number for this meeting, but because we're recording it, it's blocking my ability to see it. Try looking on your phone and see if you can find it there, Anastasia. Okay. So another big thing that's going to be happening, eclipses, and we're going to start the year on an eclipse. So on the 6th of January.
So that's Sunday.
That's this coming Sunday. Uranus, which is the last planet that's going retrograde, is going to turn forward. So that's when we're going to start our forward motion. At the same time, there will be a partial solar eclipse. Now, it will not be visible from our side of the world, but it will be visible in the East, in China and India and in those areas. And this partial eclipse will have some impact on us. But really what's going to come up is we're going to have a full lunar eclipse on the 21st of January. Eclipses always come in pairs. So if you have a solar eclipse in a month, you will also have a lunar eclipse that month as well. So when we have the full lunar eclipse, which we will see fully and completely everywhere in North America, it gives us a chance to reevaluate what's going on in our life, to reassess, Eclipses also show us the darkness, and that we need darkness. Everybody wants to run away from the darkness, but darkness defines the light.
So there's going to be darkness on Sunday?
Well, not this Sunday is a solar eclipse, but on the 21st, it will give us an opportunity to examine the darkness. Now, of course, it only lasts for a period of time, but we need to know this to move forward. If you don't want to look at the darkness, then and always be in the light, you will be disappointed, because life gives us the opportunity to also see the darkness. And it's not good or bad. We have to take good and bad out of the equation. These are limiting factors. It simply is. So when we have this eclipse of the moon in January, the moon relates to our emotions. So it's a reevaluation of what are our negative emotions that are holding us back.
So on the 21st, we want to look at negative emotions that are holding us back. That's
right, as opposed to the positive emotions. And this is going to be in Leo. So the solar eclipse is in Capricorn. So it'll be a reevaluation of ideals and an acknowledgement of our limitations. But then when we come to the lunar eclipse, it's going to be in Leo. So this will be personal. So it's about you taking accountability for yourself, my personal feelings about things. Leo is the sign that represents our ego, our sense of self. So we may feel a little challenged at this time. You know, Leo doesn't particularly love to be criticized, but it is this constructive criticism that allows us to refine and shape our consciousness. If we don't take the time to refine and shape our consciousness, then we're just going to carry on in unconscious patterns and repeat them over and over again, hopelessly and helplessly.
So some tips for us for January 21st. If we see these negative dark side emotions coming up, things that we don't want coming up, how can we utilize that knowledge to move forward?
What we focus on is then what do we want, how do we want to be?
So usually there's the opposite. So let's go. So for me, I don't know why, and I don't need to know why. I'll do something and I'll confidently do it, and then self-doubt comes in. And I know it must come through from my early childhood, this self-doubt. So I'll recognize the shadow of self-doubt, and what's the opposite of that? Maybe look at what the opposite of self-doubt is.
And that is confidence. Confidence in your ability. So in Anastasia's case, it was probably doing something and then having other people come and correct or redirect her, but they didn't give her proper instruction in the first place. It's easy to fail if somebody tells you to do something, don't give you instruction on how to do it, and then come back and tell you didn't do it properly. And some of us have faced this situation in our life.
So going from self-doubt to confidence could be difficult.
It is definitely going to be a challenge.
I can maybe look at a midpoint. What's my midpoint between self-doubt and confidence is just acceptance. So whatever, I made a mistake, whatever, moving forward. That actually happened with the email with you guys. I sent an attachment that shouldn't have been sent, and I was going to apologize and blah, blah, blah. I'll apologize now. And I had to move forward. I just went, and I said to myself, this is all about moving forward. So I've got to anchor this and just let it go and let it go. Move forward. Accept. Move forward. Let go of the self-doubt and move forward with confidence. And there it is. So one of the ways is to just look at that negative, decide what the opposite is, the positive, and find your fulcrum. The midway point might get you there sooner.
That's right. And so this is going to help us refine our personality this year. We want to be stronger as people. So we need to take these lessons and apply them in our life. All of this astrology is just opportunity. You know, it's not, we can take advantage of this opportunity now, or eventually, due to the cycles and the seasons, it will come back again. So if you deal with it now, then the next time it comes back around, you'll be refining a different part of your personality. But if you don't, then you'll repeat the same pattern until then. That's how it goes. So until you break the pattern it continues to propagate itself.
So we have a chance on the 21st to move through some of our emotions.
That's right.
And raise them up and move forward. And if not on the 21st, then it's another month, right?
Yeah. Well, that for this lunar eclipse, the next lunar eclipse won't be for another 6 months until July 16th. And that will be in Capricorn. And that will really help you to see your limitations. So the next lunar eclipse, which is an emotion, again, our emotions, is on the 16th in July. But the next solar eclipse, and we will see this solar eclipse, is in Cancer at the beginning of July. So the 2nd of July, we will have a solar eclipse visible from our side. So that a solar eclipse is slightly different in that it's about our outward expression in the world, how we are in the world. Lunar is more personal, it's emotional. The external solar eclipse is external, and it's more, it affects people socially as well. So
is it action-based?
How we are in the world, not how we feel about the world, but how we are in the world. So again, the 2nd, it will be in Cancer. So how we are we acting out of love? Are we acting out of nurturance? Are we compassionate? Are we caring? Cancer is the natural sign of the mother. It's what takes care of us, supports us, and lifts us up. So when we're having our eclipse in Cancer, we're asking ourselves to review, are we taking care of ourselves? Are we taking care of each other? And if we aren't, then what can we do to be doing that?
What inspired actions can we take?
That's right. So and then we have one final eclipse also in Capricorn on December 26th. So just after Christmas, this coming year, will be an annular solar eclipse. And an annular eclipse is where the moon is right in the center of the sun, but you can see the ring of the sun around the moon. So this is visually quite stunning, although you shouldn't look directly at it. But what this power will do is that it's going to also, it affects both our internal emotional self, but it's also going to affect that outer rim, because you're going to see the corona around the moon. So it's an inner and outer time. And it's also in Capricorn. Capricorn, again, is a dominant theme, especially for 2020, reviewing the limitations so that we can work within the boundaries. You know, we need to know our boundaries so we can work within them. You know, if somebody doesn't like to be touched, don't touch them unless they give you permission. That's the boundary.
And Capricorns are leaders, right? They start something.
Capricorns
get things started. Make those inspired actions this year, right?
That's right. They want to get things done. Capricorn is action oriented. They want to see the show me the money.
And it's not about
Capricorn wants to see the result.
It's about the Capricorn that energy is affecting all of us. So we don't have to be Capricorn.
No,
we have Capricorn leading the way right now.
That's right.
To assist us in moving forward, get clear, and take the inspired actions that are needed. Yeah.
That's right.
What else about this year?
What else is it? We want to look at the retrogrades. So we do, as always, we're going to have retrogrades. Mercury retrogrades 3 times a year at least. And so he'll be retrograding in his 3-tiered cycle. The first retrograde will be our first retrograde of the year on March the 5th. Mercury will go retrograde.
Now that's
until
really
the 28th.
Good news. That's really good news, because 2018 had a quadrillion, it felt like, retrogrades going on, and retrograde upon retrograde. So it feels like we're going to have some astrological breathing space.
We do.
Between now and
March for sure. So this is where that positive energy is, that we have to keep this moving forward, keep moving forward. Mercury's going to come in. It's going to be retrograde. This is just what it does. I mean, we don't have to fear Mercury retrograde. It just means that you have to be clearer with your communication, and you have to be a little bit more patient with things. That's all.
Okay, so let's pause for a second too, because we know now that we've had a lot of retrogrades last year, and now we know there's not one until March. And so I know January, Feb is these months where we want to go inwards, and I'll see you in March for yoga. No. That's why we're here today, and all of you are already warriors for 2019, because we want to and we need to take action now for January and for February. We do have an online workshop, Get Clear with Your Year, an intensive coming up. It starts on Monday, and we're going to be doing personal. There's a gift involved with it. You're getting a free Astro forecast. So right now, Christopher's doing a general one for all of us, but then if he gets your chart, if you join in with us for the month of January, we're going to look at your charts. He's going to give you a personal one-on-one reading, and then we're going to be rolling that into the classes as well
to incorporate different techniques to help.
So, but we'll send you information on Get Clear with Your Year, just letting you know that we're going to be fostering you moving forward for the next couple of months. Okay, you're not going to be alone in this. We want to support you and help lift you up just as much as we want to support and lift ourselves up. I feel like, if we can get some inspired actions happening before March, then it's just going to be, we're going to sort of float along from there.
That's right. So what we're going to see then is Mercury is our first retrograde. Mercury is going to go retrograde in Pisces. So it's going to be a reevaluation of our dreams and aspirations for our highest ideals. What are those things that we aspire to? So we'll have to do some just general revision on that. The next retrograde for Mercury takes place in June 20th, and it goes direct again on July 7th. So we'll have this period. So that'll be in the sign of Cancer and in Leo.
So March to July, what's going on? What's the dance?
Well, March it goes back. Mercury returns direct March 28th. It stays in Pisces. So for the month of March, we're going to have to reevaluate our ideals and how are we living up to our ideals? Where are we succeeding? Where do we need to tweak it? And where do we need to get our thinking on track? Then the next time it comes around, it's how are we dealing with our nurturance? Are we giving ourselves self-nurturance? How are we nurturing others? So we're looking at Mercury going through retrograde in Cancer and Leo. The last Mercury is at the end. It starts on Halloween Day and goes until the 20th of November. And this one will be in Scorpio. So this will be really looking at our deep hidden motivations. What is hidden that we don't like to bring out into the light? Let it shine. Let it shine. Scorpio is the sign of secrets, and it's not because it's fearful. It's because these things are precious and sacred to us. We don't want to defile them by throwing them out, by throwing our pearls out before swine. We want to hold on to our precious treasures. But when we're going retrograde, we're going to have to look at some of those treasures and see, is this really valuable to me? The next big retrograde action that we're going to have is Jupiter. Now, Mars and Venus are off the slate. No Mars or Venus retrogrades for 2019. Hooray! So love and energy will be moving forward for the whole year. Isn't that nice?
Love and energy, love and creativity and energy is going to move us through this year. Isn't that exciting? I'm really excited about that being the loves, and I'm really excited about what we can create this year for ourselves and each other.
The next big retrograde is going to be Jupiter. Jupiter goes retrograde on April the 10th and stays retrograde until August the 11th. So during this month, it's going to go back into its favorite sign of Sagittarius. So this is going to a positive retrograde in that we're going to be reevaluating our commitment to our philosophy and to expanding that in whatever way needs to be done. So taking that and moving forward, we're going to move forward.
It's a year of personal empowerment. So this is what we want to focus on for ourselves, is how can we personally empower ourselves?
That's right.
Creative imagination, personal empowerment. It's the years of the Empress. What does the Empress in Tarot represent?
Well, she's the third card. She's the divine ruler of motherly energy. So whereas the High Priestess is the spiritual feminine energy,
That was last year.
The Empress is the grounded, the ruling, the sovereign feminine energy. So she's less mystical and more practical.
More confident.
But she is about physical abundance and prosperity.
So we want to open our vessels for this, yes?
Yes. Following that, again, April is a busy month for retrogrades because on April 29th, Saturn goes retrograde back into Capricorn. And Capricorn is its home sign, so it's natural in Capricorn. So again, the energies aren't to be feared, but to be acknowledged, that we are going to see a revision of what the limitations are so we can work within it. And it's nice that it's going together. It's actually going together with Jupiter. So the two are working together so that we know where our limits are and we're able to expand to the edge of those limits.
What are the dates for that?
So the dates are the 29th of April until the 18th of September will be Saturn's retrograde in Capricorn.
Okay. And so it's the year of the Empress. The planets that guide us are Venus, self-love. Isn't that great? We're going to have some things for self-love in February to help you support your self-love and creative expression. Neptune, illusion or elimination. And Saturn, society and the world. I know we can make a difference this year together. We can say Saturn is the hidden factor, as he's the number 21 in the Empress constellation, is behind the scene this year. So Saturn will be in Capricorn all year and spiritually supporting us to live our sacred purpose. Yes, what is your sacred purpose? Do you know it? Do you feel it? But he's also the planet of limitation, restriction, blocks, and delays if we're only focused on the physical material world. The sacred totem for Saturn, especially Capricorn, is the unicorn. This mystical creature only makes itself known to those who believe in magic. So we'll believe in magic and have the unicorn lead the way through our Capricorn years.
Now, Uranus, which is just coming out of retrograde on the 6th, will return into retrograde action going back starting on August the 11th. So Uranus is, of course, the sign of the unconventional. But being an outer planet, it affects groups. And we can see in the turbulent political scene at the latter half of this year, that is a Uranus effect when it goes retrograde. So hopefully things, of course, it interestingly corresponds that things are going to move direct just as the U.S. House and Senate start to sit back after the holidays in early January. We will probably see some reordering in the political structure during this first 2 months. So Uranus affects the groups, large groups. So Uranus is going to go retrograde again. So expect to see a little more political turbulence at the latter half of 2019. But the first part will find the political scene starting to smooth out, getting a little bit of balance, a little bit of forward motion. Certainly with the experiences south of the border and how their politics are working out, it'll probably be a little reprieve from the status quo of what's been going on the past little while.
Did you say something about my anus?
Yes, I did.
Please don't talk about it publicly.
Uranus, of course, is the only planet in our
planet.
solar system that spins on its side. So it is the planet of unconventionality. So things can just suddenly shift without warning or notice. And you can see huge changes or shifts in group consciousness seemingly out of the blue as a result of Uranus retrograde. So look for those big cultural shifts this year. And how you handle it is, of course, how you set yourself up in this first part of the year. Lastly, we're going to look at Neptune. Neptune is, of course, the planet that is related to our spiritual ambitions and desires, but it's also related to our illusions and self-deception. So it is going to go retrograde on the 21st of June and stay that way until November 27th. And this will be a time to reevaluate your spiritual path, to see what really is working for me and what am I just deluding myself with. You know, it's easy to think that we're already enlightened, but sometimes reality rears its head and we recognize that perhaps we aren't quite as far along on the path as we believe. It is good to have these reevaluations, because self-deception is fine, but when it comes to the moment where you leave this world, if you are deceived, you will not end up where you want to go. You need to be clear. You need to be in total harmony with yourself. And that way, when you die, the next experience you have after that will be something that you would like to have. But if you die confused and in chaos, so too will you drag that forward. So it's about moving forward. Just like we move forward into the new year, we want to be solid on our spiritual path.
Motivation for change.
What most people don't want to talk about, but what is the absolute truth and fact, is that there's only one thing that you were truly born for, and that is to die. That is the only one guaranteed thing that will assuredly happen to everyone. And how we face that moment really defines our whole life. So we want to be spiritually prepared at any moment, that if we were to pass from this world, that we're at peace with it. We're at peace with ourselves.
Spiritual consciousness is a key word for this year.
So be spiritually conscious. Raise your vibration up. Follow your truth, your integrity. Integrity is going to be the issue here. With Capricorn and Jupiter working together, Jupiter's helping you to expand, but Capricorn is giving you those limitations so you know how you can fulfill your personal integrity. Integrity is very important. If you're on a boat in the middle of the ocean and the integrity of your hull is compromised, your boat sinks. Integrity means holding it all together. So we want to become as integrous as possible this year.
And integrity also, to have integrity means letting go of the illusion, right? So Neptune in Pisces is going to show us illusion or enlightened awareness.
So how we deal with it will really be a marker for us to know where we are on our path. So you'll be presented with opportunities to handle it in an enlightened manner or in your usual manner. And you have to have the awareness to know where you are at. Refine yourself this year. Start believing in this idea that thinking, speaking, and acting should all be the same. So not to think one thing about somebody, say something else about them, and act in another way. This is disintegrous. Your life will be, I'm just going to say it, you'll be like a Donald Trump. You'll be a clown for the world to see. A jackanapes, or what have you. But someone who is the joke and the jest of all others, because their personal integrity is weak. Wouldn't you rather be somebody that is integrous, somebody that thinks, acts, and does what they say, doesn't change their mind every 3 days, stays with what they believes and sees it through until completion? This is the mark of a master. A master is not swayed by popularity, by the tides of fashion, but holds true to the integrity of their truth, regardless of any external circumstance. This year, 2019, is the time for us to become our personal masters. Refine your spiritual purpose. Become the being you have always believed you could be by matching your thoughts, your words, and your deeds, making them an integrous, energetic force.
The oneness of all.
And when we all come together with that level of integrity, what we do has true power.
Right. So there's a lot of sort of illusion versus power. A lot of us looking at it, what's real and what's not real. And
we can see in the political world, we can see the chicanery. We can see how disintegrous it has become. The smoke and mirrors, the finger pointing, and all of these things. But we can't control that. What we can control is our personal integrity. And when you stand in your personal integrity and ask somebody to stand in theirs, you have more authority. So when we stand in our personal integrity, we can demand of our politicians and our leaders to stand in theirs. But when we ourselves are wishy-washy with our personal integrity, how can we expect them to take us seriously? We have to be the ones. We have to take our power if we want to see larger shifts in the world around us. We have to become the power.
Right, and I can see that power, a lot of the power is in January. We've got a lot going on in January.
Right now, it's the big push to move it forward. Don't be lazy this year. Don't think I'll get to it. I'll get to it when it warms up, or I'll get to it in the spring, or it'll be better in the summer. Do it now. Whatever it is, it's better to take one small thing and make that perfect than to try to do a whole bunch of things. And
okay, we're going to do it now. We're gonna do a coaching session. Just any last minute keywords, or sort of wrap it up about this year, keywords or anything else.
Move forward fearlessly. Do it now. Take action. Don't sit on your heels. Move forward.
And then when we get sort of drawn back in sort of March, June and September, we're going to be, or by Halloween, some shadows. We've got to somehow overcome these.
Well, we'll have momentum on our side.
Right.
And the more integrous we become, the easier it is to deal with anything that arises. The whole idea of this astrology is not for you to be a slave to what's going on, but to recognize what's happening so that you can use your consciousness to transcend it. We don't want to be a slave to the energies of the planets and the stars. We want to honor that it's there, but we want to apply our consciousness to go beyond it. That's one of the gifts and the powers of us as human beings.
And I see that because of Aries just moved last night, is a very strong ruler and can be impulsive and aggressive and doesn't like authority. But we need to overcome that. We need to be strong. And
but at the same time, Aries is
use motivation of Mars to create inspired new beginnings.
Aries in Mars is again, they're coming into the natural alignment. So Aries in Mars is its natural home. So it's energy to move forward. You know, all of this
have today
doesn't like authority or whatever. That's up to your mind. Look at it instead. Aries, which is starting new cycles, is in its home sign, and Mars, is in its home sign of Aries. This is our energy to move forward.
Motivation
is right there. So take
clear
advantage
vision,
of it. Falcon. It's like you have a slingshot. You've got it pulled back. Let go. Don't wait.
All right.
Don't wait.
Let's do it.
Let it go. Move forward fearlessly.
Creative imagination, motivation, positive evidence, inspired actions. So here, this is the coaching tool we've been working with. And in the past, what I've done a lot at this time is, what am I letting go of from the New Year's? I don't want to focus on the negative. I don't want to move through this year focusing on the negative. So let's just scrap all that crap. Scrapping that crap. What worked for you this past year in 2018? What worked for you? I want you to get your pad of paper out or your memo on your phone. I want you to start listing, as we list, some things. That's a good point, Willow, that the symbol of Sagittarius, the archer, his bow tight, the arrow is ready to fly, and that's totally where we are. So let's take the actions now. Let's get our bow and arrow. And what I want to do is just for us to review this past year, what worked, not what didn't work. What worked? What are we going to move forward? For example, Christopher and I have always had sort of a side full-time or part-time job. Christopher's been a full-time farmer for years and years and years. This past year, 2018, we worked by contract. He worked more in the yoga world, which is part of our dream, is to do more of what we love and share our yoga and these kind of things together. And what we see is that the online is really working for us. We never thought that we would be teaching online because we're traditional teachers. We never thought it was possible that we could teach yoga online, but it's happening and it's working well. And we're starting to meet part of my purpose, which is harmonizing my family of friend worldwide. So the big part of my purpose path is starting to occur, and Christopher's on board with this, and this is positive evidence that it's working. You're here is telling us it's working. So moving forward for us, the Loves, we're going to be offering more online. And we're going to be What else has been working? We're going to be working more by contract, not full-time stinking thinking jobs that we need these things. What are other things for you? You're going to be, what's been working for you that you're moving forward?
What I'm moving forward is working privately one-on-one with people. I have had great success working one-on-one, seeing people have incredible progress in a short period of time because they're regularly applying yoga.
So he's been working with people with PTSD, ADHD, anxiety, all these different ailments that people are trying to overcome. So he's been working personally, and it's working. He's got daily programs with them, and it's working for them. We're seeing progress.
Exactly.
I know for myself, what worked for me last year was metta, applying metta. I always knew I was a kind, loving being of service. And when I learned about metta, which is loving kindness, I was like, oh, I know that. But what I learned was there's always room for more loving kindness, whether that's with myself, whether that's with my neighbor, whether that's with the crack hoe on the corner. You know, there's more room for metta, loving kindness towards my mother, towards my neighbor, towards Donald Trump.
Towards Donald Trump. He needs all the metta he can get.
So this is something that's working for me. Metta is working for me in 2018. I'm moving it forward. I'm bringing more loving kindness into the world. What else are you moving forward?
I am moving forward. I'm moving forward totally trusting. I have let go of needing the crutch of having to have the standby and trusting that all will be provided for. I've lived this way for quite a while, but now I'm taking that next step because it's been working.
So trust is the key word for him. So let's start to write keywords while you're there. What are some key words?
Before, I felt I was taking the space that I could have used for my own creations and putting somebody else's work or job in that space. Now I've removed that other person's job. I'm going to leave that space open for our creations.
You know what else I'm moving forward? My son got to go to camp last year. He's going to camp this year. You know what else? We had a family vacation.
We're moving it
We're
forward.
moving that forward. We're moving a family vacation out to Nova Scotia. What are you moving forward? Should we open the mics for anyone who wants to speak? Can you do that, Chris?
Well, anybody, if you want to speak, simply go to the bottom corner, click on your mic, and then you can just offer
if you want to
right
put
there.
it out into the universe, if you want to put it out into the group, just some point forms of what you want to move forward, you can press the mic and share it with us.
Or not.
Or not. It's totally
for you.
Okay.
All is for you. But the most important thing, select, and you can select as much as you want, but I say select 3 to 5 things. I love the number 3.
3 is a ruling number this year, by the way.
3 is a ruling number.
If you're going to do
and
numerology.
I've been working with numbers and numerology for a long time, and there's certain magic to the numbers 3, 6, and 9.
And we're going to go there in a second because our breath is going to involve this magic, this Capricorn, unicorn magic, okay, the number 3 magic. 3 is a foundational number. So can you make sure you have 3 to 5 points of what you're moving forward? Now, if you have 10, great. What are you moving forward? And hopefully these are all positive, expansive aspects. And now let's pick the first, just circle the top 3, okay? Circle the top 3. And now put a little arrow from those top 3. I'd like you to add, what are some inspired actions that you're going to take? What inspired actions are you going to take to make that real? Okay, there we go. Yes, we've got from Chris, he wants to live his yoga and he wants to trust the universe. So Chris, you have living your yoga. What inspired actions are you going to take to live your yoga? Start to make the list. I'm going to do my morning yoga online with Anastasia and Christopher Love. I'm going to, what inspired actions are you going to take? How are you going to trust? Well, I'm going to let go. Every time that clamp comes in, every time that self-doubt comes in, I'm going to hand it up to the universe, and I'm going to hand that up into the trustful nature of all that is. I'm going to free myself up. You know, what are the inspired actions are you going to take? Okay, everyone. So I want you to start to write down some of the inspired actions you're going to take. You can also share with us in the chat bar. or you can unmute yourself. Inspired actions you're going to take. So what are some inspired actions you're going to take to not have to have a part-time or full-time job?
Well, I'm actually going to go and sell myself. I'm going to actually go out and promote my services, which is something that I do not normally do.
He's been in training since he met me.
I've been in training for 47 years, and now I'm ready to say I think I might have acquired some knowledge.
So you guys got that. I've got witnesses. He's going to sell himself.
And some inspired actions I'm going to take is standing up for what I believe in. I believe in yoga, and so I need to stand up for the integrity of the word yoga. Because I'm noticing that when I say yoga to people, they automatically think of physical fitness and a workout. And this needs to change. This needs to change. They're degrading the quality of the word by denigrating it to simply one of the limbs of the 8-limbed practice. Everybody thinks that yoga is only a physical
exercise. So we are going to save that for your inspired actions.
Those are some inspired actions.
Rantings by a yogi. Watch for those. Okay, watch for those. Some inspired actions I'm going to take is every time I catch myself doubting myself, beating myself up, thinking that, editing myself, criticizing myself, I'm letting that go. I'm just letting it go. I'm handing it up, and I'm loving myself. And you know what I'm going to say to myself? I'm moving forward. Guilt is the old love. I'm moving forward. So for me, what I'm going to do is what we're about to do. First of all, our affirmation, it's not a mantra, because mantras are traditional, old connotations. Is that the right word?
Well, a mantra traditionally is Sanskrit. It has a tradition, and it is known to have an effect. An affirmation is a positive statement that can help you to cultivate a mindset. Right. It doesn't have the same vibrational tuning that a mantra or
tradition. Yeah. So I'm going to not use a mantra, but an affirmation moving forward. So even in my mind, if I notice myself doubting myself, no, self-doubt is out. Moving forward. I'm going to say that in my mind, moving forward. And if I have to, I'm going to use the breath. Let's do the breath.
Okay.
So, Chris, you're going to teach it?
We're just going to do a ratio breathing. You could do this anytime. You may know the ratio from alternate nostril breathing, but we're going to do a specific breath. A little bit different.
We're going to add some numerology into this for this
year. And we're just going to breathe in and out through both nostrils. So you can do this anywhere. You could be in line at the store.
You could be talking to somebody. Someone who's challenging your self-doubt.
So we're going to work with a ratio breathing, and we're going to use specific numbers to tune into this 3-year. We're going to inhale for a count of 3. We're going to retain our breath for a count of 12. We're going to exhale for a count of 6. So it's a 3, 12, 6 breath.
3, 12, 6 breath. We will follow up with you with the recording, and we will write this out to you again. But also the 3, 6, 12 is you're inhaling what you wrote down, those 3 things. So my metta, I'm inhaling metta. I'm holding it and visualizing loving kindness with all in my life, even if they hurt me. And then I'm exhaling any hatred, resentment, judgment that comes with not being mettaful.
So the science behind the 3, 6, 12 or the ratio breathing is that we're inhaling deeply because we're counting to 3. Normally a breath happens like that. So it's a deep inhale, but the retention helps to calm and steady the mind. It's difficult to think about 2 things when your brain in your mind when you're holding your breath. So it helps to concentrate and focus the mind. The long exhale, the 6, stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system, helping us to stay calm. So the 3, 12, 6 breath is to help us to draw in our air, our vitality.
Focus, focus, focus.
Focus. Calm.
Release.
And when we practice this, when we're feeling challenged, it's going to help us to stay committed and centered with our personal integrity. So we're going to work with this breath. Let's just do it for a few minutes. We're working with inhale 3. Retain for a count of 12. Then Exhale, 4, 6.
Release what gets in the way. Calm and ground. Inhale, drawing in for 3. Drawing in those things you're moving forward with. Holding it, visualizing it happening already. And then exhale, calm into the here, into the now. It's already happening. Inhale, one of the points that you wrote down. Selling yourself. Christopher's holding selling yourself, himself in his mind. He's visualizing himself selling. And he's exhaling, calming into it. Chris Cadeau, he's inhaling, living his yoga life. And as he's retaining, he's holding and visualizing, living his yoga life and all the things he's going to do. And exhale and calm into it. Plant those seeds, moving forward. My friend Michelle, she's visualizing making that 1,000,000 through isogenics today. Holding that vision this year of making that 1,000,000 so she can give free chiropractic to the world. And then calming that, planting those seeds. What other seeds are you planting? Inhale. What are you moving forward? Hold it for 12, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Exhale, release, moving forward, calming, moving forward. Slow it down even more. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Visualize. Lots of full online classes. Exhale, calming it, planting it, seeing yourself moving forward. Inhale, standing up for the integrity of yoga, visualizing the rantings of a yogi, getting quadrillion, bazillion hits, going viral, teaching the world, coming together, all is one and one is all, and planting those seeds, moving forward. You can keep going, you can open your eyes. We'll give you a mudra. So it's like Charlie's Angels, but your right thumb is over your left.
This is the Jupiter mudra. So this is to tune into the Jupiter energies, the expansion.
We're moving forward. So place that anywhere that feels comfortable for you. Continue with your ratio breathing. Inhaling for 3. You're inhaling one of the points you wrote down. You're holding it, culminating, gestating, visioning, focusing. And then you're planting those seeds, seeing yourself moving forward on the exhale. Do a few more ratio breathing. Smiling and seeing all the inspired actions that you're going to take. Exhale, planting those seeds, feeling it happening, moving forward here now. You can do the ratio breathing as long as you like. And then when your body wants to rest and your mind wants to rest, let's just be in a meditative space together for the next few minutes. You can keep your mudra or not. Connect with each other. However many of us are online right now, connecting with all of us here in the present, to the web, feeling each other. All 13, 14 of us at this time, and all of the others, all 50 of us that are, or more, that are going to get the recording. Let's just hold this space. Let's feel this strength that we're creating for each other in this moment. While we chant, Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. 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 Let's put our hands open to the universe so we can feel each other, feel the support. Open, be this vessel for moving forward in 2019. Feel your affirmation moving forward, moving you forward. Whatever you feel yourself being pulled back, saying to yourself, moving forward.
Moving forward. Moving forward. Moving forward doesn't mean we forget the past, we neglect the past, or that the past doesn't matter. But it means that we're going to take the best of the past and bring it into the future. We're just leaving behind those things that have finished their cycle. Let's move forward the best of ourselves into 2019. Let's move forward into a brighter future.
Abundant.
On a future of personal integrity. A future where we are the masters of our own minds.
And all is one and one is all. A future of love. Love is a key word. Venus is part of the ruler of this year.
Yes.
So Venus doesn't go retrograde this year. So love is all there is this
all
year.
There is.
Yeah.
Forward moving with the heart.
Creative imagination. What parts of your creative imagination can you move forward? I have a lot of artwork that wants to come out. What about you?
Moving it
A
forward.
lot of workshops that want to happen. What wants to be born for 2019? Moving forward.
Another important note that we will be moving into the Chinese Year of the Pig as of February the 5th. And the pig is always a year of good fortune and abundance. So see the opportunities and find your abundance where it shows itself.
And get dirty. I mean clean. I mean dirty. I mean clean. Enjoy your resting times. So also we're going to be moving forward, but there does need to be rest times like this, like just a meditative moment to allow for the culmination of everything to come together.
Wonderful.
So we want to thank you for moving forward with us today. And we're already looking forward to next year. We'll do this again, maybe even on the Boxing Day, the 26th is the key point. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens, but we will definitely be in touch with you over this coming year with more fun and exciting information to help you make your life even better.
So also just a note, Christopher does do astrology for karma. What do you do?
Karma astrology. So I'm not a predictive astrologer. I'm not going to tell you what is going to happen to you 3 months from now. What I will tell you is that according to the energies when you were born, you will have a tendency to do this or that. So the knowledge will allow you to choose whether you want to do this or that or something else. If you don't know, you will always repeat the unconscious pattern. Once you become aware, you can consciously affect it. This is the truth of astrology. You're only a slave to it when you're ignorant.
So what you're offering, because you came today and we see who's on the screen, you can have $20 off of an Astro reading, and he can also culminate it in for 2019. So basically taking your chart and the chart of 2019 and helping you to move forward. Okay. Now, it's usually 108, which is a really good price for an astrology karma reading, but you're going to get $20 off, which is 88. But wait, if you're planning on taking our 1 month intensive, right? There's a few of you who are already going to be on the 1 month intensive. Debbie, Willow, you can have your reading like tomorrow. You just need to send him so when we're doing a get clear with your year for the January,
yes.
This is a morning yoga intensive. And Christopher's going to do the astrology for all the participants beforehand. You're going to have a one-on-one. That's his gift. So you're getting a free gift of your astrology for this year. Instead of, it's worth $88. Well, actually 108. But you're going to get that for free with this 1 month intensive, because we really want you to move forward. In January, we're going to be meeting every morning. 6:30 to 7:30 a.m. for yoga. We're going to be incorporating some of these tools, but even more so, more coaching tools for you to get clear with your year.
That's right. We'll be customizing and refining the practice to incorporate elements so that each participant will be able to get specified empowerment for this year to move forward, so that you can really get clear and move forward. Then make 2019 the best year yet. And
that will be incorporated into the yoga. And then also what we haven't done is what we're going to be doing is having a meditation afterwards. It's optional. So we'll be meeting weekdays in January, starting next Monday from 6:30 to 7:30. We're incorporating all of the participants' charts into that and some coaching. But then for 15 minutes afterwards, we're going to meditate so that we can all meet through the web and move forward together with energy. So we'll send you some information on that as well. But I have to say, I'm not a morning person. I never was. And I've been taking this intensive, and I'm having the best days because of it. I naturally wake up at 6 a.m. now, half an hour before I even have to be online. And when things come at me where we are going to get thrown a few punches, and what time of the year is again? It's going to be March, June, and September.
April and June and September, yes.
Right. So at those times, we can easily move forward with this maintenance. So we're going to send you, I know some of you didn't join in right away. We're going to send all of you a recording of what we did today. We're going to send you the Ganesha chant. We're going to send you the, what's it called? The tool, the coaching tool that we did.
Yeah.
And if you're interested in an astrology reading, and you can have $20 off, and we'll send you some information on our 1 month intensive starting on Monday to get clear with our year. So,
all right.
Yeah, all of this, these are great gifts to move forward with. And so remember, your mantra, or not your mantra, your affirmation is moving forward. Remember your breath. Inhale for 3, retain for 12.
Exhale for 6.
And remember your mudra. Anytime you're forgetting, your right thumb over your left, to just feel the power. I feel your power.
I've got the power.
I've got the power. We're moving forward to 2019. Thank you for joining us. And we look forward to meeting you more, whether that's in person or online.
Namaste, everyone.
Namaste. Be well.
And may 2019 be your best year yet.
I want to see the positive evidence.